Hello everybody and welcome back to the Sanctuary. I'm your host, Professor C, and we're going to do some more A&P today. Specifically, we're going to check out the muscles that move your face around and let you make some non-verbal expressions. Let's do it. So maybe you've been told something like, it takes 50 different muscles just to make a smile. Well, maybe that's not quite true, but there are a lot of muscles in the face that you use to make facial expressions. And so this lecture is going to go over the details of that. I have a lot of artists that used to come through A&P, and I would keep asking them, why are you here taking an A&P course? And they would say, we want to learn the way the muscles work in the face so we can draw more realistic images. And it made sense to me. So humans are really good at communicating using speech. We've developed that different than every other type of animal out there. But we also have the ability to communicate non-verbally, especially with people that we know very well. If you know somebody very, very well, you can usually just throw them a certain look and they'll know exactly what you think about the situation. Many of these are going to be a little different in that they may not originate and insert bone to bone like many of the other muscles we'll hear about. Many of these insert into the skin or each other. So the good news is when we talk about which nerve is giving power to the muscles, facial nerve is the winner on all of these in the talk, and that's cranial nerve number 7. All right, let's start here with epicranius on top of the cranium. I'm going to go ahead and put a red line around the entire structure so we see it. And that's a pretty good line around it right there. It's got two muscular parts, one here in the back and one here in the front, and then this white tissue that separates them. So another name for this is occipitofrontalis, and I'll show you why right now. The one in front is called frontalis muscle, and it originates in the skin and the muscle that's on top of the frontal bone there. The Galea aponeurotica is this white thing here. So I'll put GA instead of this X. So we see that's the Galea. It's just a sheet of connective tissue that connects two muscles, and the word for that is aponeurotica. So the function of frontalis is to pull the scalp forward to make kind of wrinkles on your forehead. And of course, we know what the nerve is going to be on all of these facial. So the occipitalis is the back part, and sometimes you hear this called, the frontal belly of epicranius, or the occipital belly of epicranius. Again, very similar in that this will pull the scalp back to straighten out everything up front. And there's the first two muscles of facial expression. Okay, let's go with some other good landmarks here. Orbicularis oculi is a circular muscle, orbicularis meaning a circular muscle that's around the eye. So you would expect it to be right here, and there it is right there, encircling the eye. It will originate in the bones that you would think, the maxilla and the frontal bone. It inserts in the orbit, and the main function is to close the eye. And we know the eye itself doesn't close like that, but we mean to close the structures on top of the eye, like when you're sleeping. Orbicularis oris is the circular muscle, again orbicularis, that is around the mouth, oris. And of course, that's going to have very similar origins in that it's going to originate on the bone around it, maxilla and mandible. It will insert in the muscles around the lips and some of the connective tissue. And basically, if orbicularis oculi helps you close your eye, orbicularis oris helps you close your mouth. All right, I like to go to this picture here because it's a very good model that demonstrates the position of these. So let's start kind of running right down the nose, if you will. So I'm going to put a P here on this purple muscle. That's procerus there. And as you would think, it would help you furrow your eyebrows. That is to bring them together and draw them down like you're angry at somebody, how your eyebrows look when you have that angry expression. This is procerus. If we go down a little bit, I'll put an N right here on this, just where you'd think it would be nasalis running across the nasal bones. Now, it will compress, depress the nose, and again, it kind of lets you make a face of displeasure, right? Telling somebody you don't like the way that the situation smells, right? And then down here, this little blue guy, where I'm putting DS, this little blue guy right here. I'll go ahead and outline him. This is depressor septi, right? Remember that little space right here above your lips is called the septum, and there's a nasal septum above it. So what it's really referring to is pulling down the nasal septum, and it will insert in that part of the maxilla called the incisive fossa that we saw many, many lectures ago. And it's going to help pull the septum down. It'll help constrict the nostrils. All right, our next two zygomaticus muscles. So zygomaticus minor is the one right here. It's kind of the smaller one. And if you can't see, I'll go ahead and put an arrow right there so it pops out a little better. That's the little pink one there. And then zygomaticus major is, of course, the bigger one here. And I'll just put MJ for the major, just like that. So we can see where they originate and insert, but the point of these muscles is they're going to pull, and you can just notice from their position where it's here and where it's here. If they were to pull like a rubber band, it would obviously pull the corner of the mouth up at an angle, right? So both of these are going to be responsible for pulling the mouth up, pulling the mouth out, and elevating the lips. Okay, levator labii superioris. As it sounds like, it's something that's going to raise up the lips, and it's going to be located on top of the structure. So levator labii superioris, I'll go ahead and outline it first, is this kind of pink muscle here, and it will go all the way down to the lip. You just can't see it in most models. That's levator labii superioris. And here are the details on it. But again, notice its position and its name. It's going to pull the upper lip up. Now, this one is pronounced levator labii superioris aliqui, is how most people say it, nasi. And this is the little yellow one right here that runs along the side of the nose all the way up to the corner of the eye up here. Check out the origin insertion, but more importantly, what it does is elevate the lip, just like its other partner, levator labii superioris, and dilation of the nostrils. If you want a good example of it, go look at some pictures of Elvis Presley from back in the day doing what we call the Elvis snarl, and that's what that muscle will allow you to accomplish. Okay, levator anguli oris. Again, just like it sounds like, a muscle that's going to pull up on the mouth, but on the angle. So if you can follow my pen right here, there's a little green muscle that I'm highlighting that's plugged in right there at the corner of the mouth. Now, underneath it, kind of still in a green color, but a little different, is this muscle here. There's the depressor anguli oris, the one that will bring down the angle of the mouth. And so here are the details on it. Again, levator anguli oris would help you smile, and depressor anguli oris, of course, would help you frown or depress the angle of the mouth. All right, risorius is this one here. I'll go ahead and just circle it just like that, that little tan colored one. And again, if you can picture its position and how it would look if you would tighten that rubber band, it would kind of pull the corner of the mouth not down like sad and not up like happy, but kind of sideways like you're doing a strange grinning. So this draws back the angle of the mouth where it gives you kind of a wicked or evil grin. And then down here, this big flat plate-like muscle, and that's why it's called PLATYSMA, because it is flat like a plate. Now it looks like it keeps on going down, and it does. It runs all the way down the neck, and it originates way down there on the clavicles, notice. So the point of this muscle, the action, is to pull the angle inferiorly and quite tightly, and not just show a grin, but actual sadness or fright when those muscles tense up. Okay, depressor labii inferioris. It brings down the lips, but it's underneath the lips now. And so I'm going to go ahead and outline that one here. There's another one right there on the other side next to it, of course. There are the two depressor labii inferioris muscles. And they are going to do as you think they would do. They would depress the lower lip, kind of make a pouty face, poke your lip out, And the one down below it, the little purple guy here that I'm outlining, and his partner right next to us, right there on the chin, that's called mentalis. Mentalis. So it again helps you protrude that lower lip, kind of give you a face of displeasure, and helps you wrinkle your chin a little bit sometimes to show that you're not quite sure what's going on in the situation. All right, you enjoy those facial muscles? Hope you did. Check out some more videos in my series if you want to, and see you for the next one. Bye-bye.